I love you, Dan. I still live at home with my parents. I'm 24 years old and I still live with my parents. Yeah, and I'm real hip with the ladies too. When you're in your mid-20s, early 20s, and trying to call on ladies, you're about as attractive as a platypus with a bad hair day. And you're about as awkward as one too, just, I don't know what I am. I live at home with my parents, but it's really not my choice. The economy's hard, I can't afford to pay rent, and it's bad. The thing that I don't like the most about living with my parents is just the fact that they have their idiosyncrasies. My mom has to keep everything so clean, and it drives me crazy. Same with my dad. If cleanliness was next to godliness, then my parents lived right next door to the big guy. For the time I was little, my mom would always put me and my older brother to work, especially if someone was coming over. Anytime someone was coming over, anytime they were expecting company, we vacuumed, we dusted, we mopped, we reshingled the roof, we changed the oil in the cars, we brushed the dog's teeth. Half the time we didn't even know who's coming over. Mom, who's coming over today? The FedEx man's going to drop off a package in the corner. And don't even touch my mom's kitchen. Never at any time was there to be a mess in my mom's kitchen. My mom is the only person I know that can make an omelet without breaking any eggs. I could be in the kitchen making some spaghetti, mixing in my tasty ragu sauce, and a little drop gets on the stove. Next thing I know, red lights drop down from the ceiling, sirens are going off. My mom comes running in with a hazmat suit on going, "We need backup, this is not a drill." And here comes my dad running in socks, his underwear, and a t-shirt going, "Get out of the kitchen." Like Tom Cruise from Risky Business. And don't even get me started on making sandwiches. My mom hates it when I make sandwiches. Now, I work 9 hours a day, panhandling for spare change off the freeway. When I get home, I'm hungry. I want to make myself a sandwich. The thing that my mom hates the most is that sandwich bread leaves crumbs. But that's what bread does. It leaves crumbs. It's the law. If sandwiches didn't leave crumbs, the lunch police would come after it. "Mr. Briggs, we need to apprehend this bread." "Why?" "Because it's not making any crumbs. Have this Pepperidge Farm bread." "Thanks. This is just a warning. Next time you will receive a written citation." Didn't know it was that bad. But you know, I try to be clean when I make my sandwiches. It's not when I go into the kitchen, I just get the bread and just shuffle it all over the place and throw my lunch meat against the windows and squirt mayonnaise and mustard all over the walls and smush the cheese into the floorboards. I try to be clean and clean up after myself. But every time I'm done cleaning up after myself, my mom comes in the kitchen with a black light and a white glove like David Caruso from CSI Miami. "There's evidence that you made this mess. You are a culinary criminal." Oh man. My parents say that I should know better now as an adult, but even as a kid I could never catch a break. You know those commercials, those Bounty commercials? Who here has seen a Bounty paper towel commercial?
Oh, there you go.
Right, yeah, one person may get this joke. In these Bounty commercials, it's the same story. You have the precocious, thirsty 5-year-old kid, and he wants to pour a full pitcher of Kool-aid into a shot glass. It goes all over the place. But what do his parents do? They just, "Oh, little Timmy's so cute, isn't he? You try to be a big boy. You probably think we're going to yell at you. We're not. We got this half sheet of Bounty paper towels. Bounty can solve all the world's problems. In fact, Bounty even helped the North win the Civil War against the South. Bet you didn't know that, Chestnut. Why don't you just go run out upstairs and play with your Barbies."
Too soon.
I wish that I had that kid's parents. This is 5-year-old Dan trying to pour a full 2-gallon jug of milk into my cereal. And let me just tell you, when you make a mess in my kitchen, if my mom's not after you, my dad knows what happens. He has this sixth sense about him. It doesn't matter if he's in the kitchen or if he's out of town. He could be delivering a presentation at a business conference going, and as you can see, in the third quarter sales, we've risen exponentially. I gotta go, guys. I gotta go. What's going on? No time to explain, I gotta go. So in comes my dad, and he looks at me, looks at the floor, Doesn't even say a word. He just transforms into Marv from Home Alone 2, just trying to clean up her sandwich. At one point, I think he's about to turn into Bruce Lee. He's just, I got scared. I thought he was going to hurt me, but he didn't until I said something. Now, brothers and sisters, from the time I've been little, I've been told I should try stand-up comedy. I like to tell jokes. I like to make people laugh. Even when I was 5 years old, I enjoyed making people laugh. So while my dad's over here doing this little spilled milk interpretive dance, scenes from popular 90s sitcoms like Step by Step, Family Matters, and Boy Meets World fly into my young and impressionable mind. And in these scenes, you know the story. It's a bad tone, something bad's happening, but somebody in the cast is going to say something and make everything better. Grandma Jean, for example, is on her deathbed, taking her last few dying breaths. Then someone says it, whoa, even when she's dying, Grandma Jean's got bad breath. Have a Mentos. Chase it down with some Diet Coke and you'll go out with a bang. So while my dad's doing this little spilled milk chant, I try to lay it in the situation. Dad, there's no use crying over spilled milk. Next thing I know, I'm waking up in a hospital, my vision's blurry. Then someone says it, wow, with those two black eyes, he does look like a raccoon. Thanks, I hope you had fun.